Welcome to 6 Months Later, the podcast 180 Days in the Making, where we talk to interesting people about their lives, and then we talk to them again in 6 months to find out what happened, because that's the problem with podcasts is you're like, what happened to my friends? And now you can find out. You just have to hang out till the end of this is all getting cut out. Anyways, I am your host, Matthew Shadorn, and I'm joined as always by my lovely co-host,
Tara Newton-Wordsworth.
You're the lovely co-host. When I said that, sorry, did that throw you off?
I was deeply shocked. I was like, who is he talking about?
Who's lovely? Is there someone else on the call?
Oh my God, I'm blushing.
I have learned my lesson to never compliment you again.
Please don't. It's really making me uncomfortable because it's just so unusual. Like, I just don't expect it.
I'm sorry. Yeah, this is why I should stop complimenting people. Every time I compliment people, they're like, stop making fun of me. And I'm like, I don't know what to do here.
It's just because it doesn't seem genuine. I feel like anything you say that's nice, like it's really doesn't come across. But I do believe that you mean it, sort of.
This is the thing that this is the problem. And I think part of the reason that universally nobody likes me. People listening, they'll be like, well, Tara must like you because she's on the podcast. Because Tara doesn't know me very well, and she's learning more about me every day through this podcast. And then I feel like I've maybe got 6 months. And so check back in 6 months with my new co-host, just my cat.
Hopefully Alice likes you because she's married to you and she's also having your baby. So, I mean, it seems like that's going well.
The levels of voodoo I've had to employ to get Alice to like me. No, I was going to say, this is an issue that I've had where I feel like I don't react correctly to things. I don't know. I'm wired wrong.
No, yeah, I don't know. I think there are certain things where, yeah, maybe there's a bit of a misunderstanding of certain social things. But I think once you know that about you, like since I've known that you're not a hugger and that, you know, you're just a bit sort of socially awkward, like you're much, much easier to get along with now because I don't try and hug you anymore, obviously, especially not these days as we're not allowed to hug anymore.
Right. I think your message is just once you give up on Matt Shadorn, it can be a really good friendship.
Exactly. That's totally it. That's exactly it. And I think it's going really well.
But then here's the problem is that I'm trying to be more positive and more open with people.
Which is really nice. I think that's lovely.
Except it's very off-putting to everybody who's gotten used to the way that who'd already adjusted their expectations of me. And now when I do nice things, people are very taken aback. Anyway,
I think that's really sweet.
How's your week been, Tara?
Do you know, it's been really interesting. I don't know if I told you this, but about a week ago, I decided to try TikTok. I basically overcame, I had a huge amount of shame and sort of fear about doing it because I was like, oh my God, it's so embarrassing. Like I'm too old for it. And also like, I don't know, I just had all these weird feelings about doing it. And then I was just like, you know what, like through therapy, I've just come to this point now where I'm like, you know what, one day I'll be dead. So what does it all matter anyway? I may as well just give stuff a go and stop worrying so much. And I put one video out, a little one, just for fun. It got a couple of hundred views or whatever and didn't, you know, break any records or anything. And then I put a second one out, which was this stupid little video I made a while ago about Grindr. And it's had like 80,000 views. And I literally, as it was going up, I was like, oh, I'm going to be so thrilled if this gets to like 1,000. And then I was like, oh my God, I got to it. And yeah, it's been really sweet to see, and people like, you know, just see people enjoying it and stuff. It's been such a lovely, encouraging thing. And yeah, so I feel really like, oh man, I just feel encouraged to like make more stuff and not worry so much, not take everything so seriously, you know?
That's good. Can I, at the risk of deflating you?
All my enthusiasm. Great. Yeah, sure.
No, your enthusiasm. What is like the metric for, like, is 80,000 a lot?
It basically, TikTok is like a meritocracy, which is what I like about it. So every single video is kind of given the same opportunity. Like it's shown to a pool of sort of, I think initially it's like 100 people, and based on how it does with that, like how many rewatches it gets and whether people comment, whether people share it. If it does well, then it's shown to like a bigger audience, and then it gets progressively bigger. So I think it goes from 100 to 200, then it goes to 500, then it goes to 1,000. Then, you know, so it keeps increasing, and that's all based on how it does. And like, I think I have lots of friends, well, not lots. I have a few friends who are on there, and a lot of their videos are sitting at a similar amount to my other videos, which are about 200 views. So I think to get to, you know, it does mean that something, but at the same time, then you'll see like a video of a kid hitting his friend in the head with a ball or something, and it's got 2 million views, and you just think, oh, well, nothing matters. I should just, but anyway, but you know,
I can't be mad at that. It's not like you can replicate that kind of genius.
Exactly. But I just sort of think, I don't know. I'm just not going to take everything so seriously anymore. I think it's just a bit of fun.
That's good. I didn't know how TikTok worked.
But okay, so what about you? What's your week been like? What's been happening with you?
Same old things. I bought some new shoes from the same place I bought the old shoes from.
Right.
When I bought old new shoes, the Karayumas, and I bought them half a size bigger. That's much more comfortable. And they're this cool dark red shape. Wait, I'll show you.
Oh, yeah. Awesome. See? Yeah, they look great.
They're great. They got this little, can't really see it. It's got a little stripe. It's good. Anyways, and then the other big thing is I watched the movie Willow.
Oh, how was that?
It was really good. It's a movie from 1985. I was on Disney Plus. I think I'd seen it when I was 9 and never again. And I watched it again. And you know what? Really good. So anybody out there thinking about watching Willow, I recommend it.
Go for it. Sounds fab. I watched the new Borat film and I really enjoyed that.
Did you?
I did, yeah. There were a few, I find it so cringe. I find it like almost physically painful at times, but then I ended up just really enjoying it, which was nice to watch a film because I feel like we literally just never watch films. I feel like we just watch kind of bits of series so it was nice to just sit down and be like, we're going to watch a movie today, which was really fun.
I was thinking about watching that Borat movie, but I realized I really hate hidden camera stuff and it makes me so anxious that I don't think I can.
Oh, it makes me anxious too. I felt so anxious during the movie, but at the same time I feel like it's worth it. Like it was definitely anxiety inducing for sure, but I also think worth watching. Oh, we should do predictions. What are you thinking for 6 months time?
In 6 months time, I think I'm probably going to have watched like Willow like 6 or 7 more times because I was really into it and I almost wanted to I tried to convince my wife to watch it again the next night. So yeah, that's about it. Maybe I'll watch that Borat movie, but we'll see.
Yeah, come on, watch it. I think it was fun. In 6 months time, hopefully I'm a TikTok star. I mean, honestly, I feel like I don't know if I'll be able to replicate any videos that actually do well again because so far none of my videos have done well since. So that was kind of depressing. It's like, oh, maybe I'm just like a one video person. But no, it'd be nice to keep doing videos on TikTok. And hopefully it's just coming into a less lockdowny vibe generally worldwide. I'm hoping for a positive world we're moving into. So that's my future prediction for, I guess, April next year?
May, I think.
May, cool.
Sounds about right. Anyways, I think you just need to keep with that. I think that TikTok, never having done any TikToks, I imagine it's a numbers game. It's got to keep putting out the content.
Yeah.
But if you become TikTok famous in the next 6 months, I feel like that would really help with our podcast numbers.
Yeah, for sure. I'll really work on that.
But anyways, we've got an amazing guest that we need to get to. So let's crack on with our interview. Are you ready for that?
Sure am.
Okay.
Yay.
Welcome to the show, comedian and writer Emily Winter. Emily, how are you doing today?
I'm great. Thank you for having me.
So glad to see you. Emily, how's everything going? Generally.
Bad, bad.
Not necessarily globally. I mean, we're all fucked globally, but personally, what personal wins are you bringing to our podcast today?
I'm here and I'm alive. No, I actually, I'm having a really good little freelance writer month, and I just finished a book, and
nice.
So those are good things. Yeah. But it's weird. I feel like I'm making money to prepare for a future that isn't happening. Like I'm losing faith the world will ever get back to normal, and I'm like, what am I writing for? What am I making money for? Like, yeah. What's the next, because I think especially being a comedian, you're always like, oh, I want to get this gig, or I want to be on Comedy Central. I want this. And like, it's not really happening right now. Like there's there's very little that I can say, I want to go out for this and try to get it.
Yeah. No, it is. I will say my wife today made fun of me because I just bought a new phone and I was like, I've got all this disposable income. And she's like, yeah, because you don't contribute to a pension. You don't have a pension. And I was like, well, good luck with that fucking pension. Yeah, whatever. Good luck eating that pension when society collapses. I was like, I don't need to plan for the future. Thank you very much.
To which she was like, good luck eating that phone.
Dude, I think the phone's more important because I can enjoy the phone now.
Yeah.
But the pension is just like it's like a dream. It's like she's saving up for a unicorn. It's like, whatever.
Wow, this is a good time to be having a baby. I don't, obviously, you probably don't know this, Emily, but Matt is having a baby due early next year.
Yeah.
Oh my God, congratulations.
Thank you.
I can't tell if this is the best or worst time to have a baby.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah. We'll see. I need to teach him like a lot of apocalyptic skills like archery and horseback riding. I don't know. Just basic stuff. How to purify water.
You were genuinely doing archery for a while, weren't you?
Yeah, I got to get back into that.
Speaking of which, Emily, have you been into anything recently, like new things that you've been doing sort of during this strange period of time?
Yeah, so obviously everything's so different. And normally I would spend my evenings doing stand-up comedy, but in the absence of that being a thing that can happen every day, my husband and I, he's also a stand-up comedian, we have become obsessed with volleyball. And
oh my God.
We always played on we've had like a comedian volleyball team for years, but we would just play once a week and it's called Good Set. But
nice.
Solid.
Now we play like every day that we can. And we were playing at least 3 times a week, and now it's getting really cold. And so we're freaking out. But I do have a court reserved for Saturday. So we're going to just bear whatever weather is happening in New York. But yeah, so that's been my sourdough starter is volleyball.
That was the last thing I was not expecting volleyball to say. Yeah.
Well, The reason that I got so obsessed with it is because for the first part of the pandemic, I just sat there and my muscles atrophied, and then in July I couldn't walk, and I had to go to physical therapy, and I thought my back was broken. I thought I was gonna have to have surgery, and it was way more. It was better than that, but also just incredibly sad. Like the reason was I just atrophied. I call it walking coma body. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So you were like a week away from them having to cut you out of the couch, basically.
Yes, exactly. So I needed to, so I started going to physical therapy, and then I was like, I can never let this happen again. Like, this is very sad. I am a woman in her 30s who has atrophied. Like, so
this genuinely, that genuinely happened. So how
calling her a liar?
No, but it's not an exaggeration in any way. Like, you obviously, we genuinely had physical therapy for it and stuff. So how did you get to that state? Did you literally just not move all day, every day, or?
Basically. So, okay, all my dog had surgery. So we have a pit bull, a very active pit bull, and she had leg surgery. So I didn't realize, I think, between just walking in regular life and then playing on volleyball teams, once a week, and then that wasn't happening, and then having this dog that needs an hour and a half of good exercise every day, and then she had surgery in the beginning of this, so she couldn't walk, and then I just wasn't moving. I just did work on the couch all day every day, and I just stopped working out completely. And apparently I have a body that needs it, because some of the exercises that we started doing in physical therapy, I didn't realize a human being should be able to do this. I was like, oh, this is really hard. And now I'm doing them with weights. And I was just I cannot believe that I couldn't make my body do these very simple things.
Did you feel like it affected your mental health as well? Not moving very much, because I've found even for short, if I go for a week without doing some exercise, I start feeling really down.
Yeah, I was definitely depressed. I think what happened in the beginning of the pandemic, it's weird how having so much fun morphed into depression. But my husband and I, so my husband couldn't go to work, and he's an office manager by day, so he didn't really have much work to do at home. So we were basically this is vacation. And then my job, I was also freaking out. My main freelance gig, because of the pandemic, everything changed about it, and my hours were cut. So I had nothing going on in the very beginning. So we just ate and drank and watched movies and vacation. And then after a while we were vacation is sad.
Oh my
this
God.
is so bad now.
It went from this is vacation to is this still vacation?
Yeah. Why is vacation feeling more and more like hell? Creeps up on you, you know?
Yeah.
So also our apartment was a mess because our dog, we let our dog on all the furniture or whatever, but like we had to move all the cushions to the floor because she couldn't jump, and you know, and so like we were taking care of this like depressed dog, and our apartment was a disaster, and yeah, I think that was probably the low point.
But you're obviously seeming like way more positive now. So you had physical therapy, and and now you've been playing loads of volleyball. Like, how are you feeling now, physically and mentally?
I feel good, although I have not worn zipper pants since March 11th, and I'm still terrified to do it. But yeah, because of the lack of volleyball now, that like it's gonna get just too cold here. My husband and I have made up. We're actually both on Weight Watchers right now, so like that is great. And although I will not weigh myself, so I'm just like eyeballing it. But then,
probably fine.
We are doing like this ring fit thing twice a week, and I'm doing yoga once a week to make sure, like in addition to long walks with the dog, to make sure that I don't spiral this winter.
Good plan. Wait, I never got I wanted to ask, like, what kind of volleyball? Is it a beach volleyball? Like 9-person volleyball?
Beach volleyball.
Oh, okay. So it's only like 2 people.
No. Oh gosh, no. We're not that good. The league that we play in has 6 people on each side of the court, but when we play without the leagues, we just do 4-on-4.
Oh, okay.
2-on-2 is, oh my god, sometimes we'll play 3-on-3, which is like, it's so hard, it becomes less fun to me because I'm just not good enough and I'm not fast enough.
So also during lockdown, you wrote a book?
Yeah, so that was like a really good project to work on. I write trivia for an NPR trivia show, and I write jokes for the show, but
is it wait, don't tell me.
No, it's the other one. It's Ask Me Another.
Oh, okay.
And so it just so happened that some editors at Penguin Random House were looking for a woman comedian who had some background in trivia to write a trivia book. So
that's you.
Wow, that's amazing.
That's
that is so cool.
It was fun. Yeah. And I did all like uplifting trivia, it's a delicate balance or fine line, I guess, of trying to write a book that's like uplifting without trying to ignore everything going on in the world. But I did try to take it from the perspective of let's look at the things that are either neutral or happy facts.
That's so nice.
What's a positive bit of trivia?
The happiest age is 82. Studies have shown that like people report the happiest at 82. So we all have something to look forward to.
Is it just everybody who's 82 just walking around like, well, who thought this would happen?
I think
this is unexpected. I drank a lot.
Oh, that's so nice. That's really nice to know, actually. I'm really thrilled about that.
I think there was something to the happiness factor of the people who were 82 saying that like they didn't feel that they had to do things anymore. Like they didn't like have the sort of like achievement thing that we all have like hanging over our heads. Like I must, I must do this with my career, and I must achieve that, and I must buy this big house, and I must do all these things. And like they were like, nah, we're just chilling now. Like
wait, that doesn't go away until you're 82? Because now I'm very depressed.
Sorry.
I was hoping I could get rid of that in a couple of years. No. Oh, wow. That's unfortunate. Well, that's amazing. When's the book come out?
It comes out September 2021.
Oh, okay. So
the whole idea is that it will be good, hopefully a good like holiday book that you can pick up for, sort of anyone.
Right. Well, that's exciting.
Amazing.
So, are you in the kind of like you turned in your manuscript and now you're kind of getting edits and things like that?
Yeah. So I'm waiting for my editor to edit it and send it back to me. And also my artist, because I have some art in the book, my artist, I'm a little worried about her finishing her art in time. She needs to on that, and she is my sister. And I'm like, all right, come on. This is let's go.
Okay. Bit of nepotism there.
Mm-hmm.
That's all right.
That's so exciting, though.
I'm
really, really thrilled for you.
Thank you. I mean, it's
awesome achievement
in a way. Like I loved working on it, and it was great. But it's not like a book of personal essays or something. It's not like bearing my soul. But it was really fun, and I did learn a lot. And my husband was like, every time you open the office door for 7 months, you were just spouting random facts. Like he was just like,
you're like, did you know a blue elephant's tongue is as big as an elephant?
My animals chapter is the longest for sure.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, but you're like, you could say like, oh, I wrote the great American novel facts about the world. But that's awesome. No, that's so good.
So have you got anything else lined up in terms of books, or is that like just the main thing that's in mind right now, getting that sort of finished and everything?
I need to have another big project because I will go crazy. It was also nice to have a book because I don't know, like most of the things that I work on are pretty fast turnarounds, and or even just like I have a writing partner, we've been working together forever and we write a lot of pilots, but even that doesn't take 7 months. I mean, honestly, we had one that we like worked on for years, but for a draft of it. So I don't know. I need like a big project. I am really interested in doing more research on like the intersection of, but I love talking about failure and mental health in creative fields. And so I have this sort of idea of a book called Self-Hell.
Oh, amazing.
That's like a cross between like personal essays and tons of research and I think interviewing experts and stuff. And I find I don't like just walls of positivity when I need help. I actually prefer to like find people who are like, I also am very sad. And you know, I find comfort in that. And I really like talking about being sad. So I don't know. It's obviously still a work in progress, but if nothing happens with any of my scripts or whatever, I think maybe that will be the next big thing potentially.
I think that's such a great idea actually, because I think that's absolutely right. I think sometimes what you really like, it is obviously lovely to hear positive stuff, but sometimes what you really need is someone to be like, oh my gosh, I feel you, you know, like I feel the exact same way. And yeah, I think sometimes we get the most from sharing our vulnerability and seeing that in other people too. So I think that sounds like a really great project.
Yeah. So let's get into it. What are you really sad about right now? What is it in your life right now that's making you the most sad?
Well, I think I am coming out of a sadness about my body image, which, you know, but I'm mostly scared. Like winter is coming and I don't know. Like I don't have a big project that I have to finish, which is terrifying. Winter is coming and I cannot do my favorite thing, which is play volleyball, and I cannot do my other thing that I very much enjoy, which is stand-up comedy. And I just am a little bit freaked out. So I guess that's what I'm sad about. I'm sad because I'm fearful.
Yeah. Like you do a lot of stand-up and you also produce a lot of shows in New York. And by the way, I really loved your podcast, How to Produce Live Comedy.
Thank you.
I listened to that, and if anybody out there produces live comedy, it is extremely helpful. I've produced a lot of shows. I've produced my own festivals, and I still feel like I got a lot of good information out of it, and it was really interesting to listen to. So
that's really nice.
Yeah.
Thanks.
But yeah, you produce a lot of stuff. And in fact, so the reason we know each other, and actually I don't think we've ever actually talked face to face. But the reason we know each other is you and Jen Welch came up with in 2016 after the election of a certain gentleman from Queens, who we don't have to think about anymore. You did an amazing thing, which is you started the What a Joke Comedy Festival, which was a national comedy festival.
And you made it an international comedy festival.
I wasn't going to, well, you know. Which is in cities all over.
Yeah, England chapter.
What? Yeah, and I was the only foreign chapter, which was so great because after the election happened, I was heartbroken, as many people were, and I was really depressed, and I had like no idea what to do, and I had just moved to the UK too.
Oh my god!
And I didn't have a job. I didn't have anything to distract me, and so it was really helpful to have something to do, because I was like, well, if this turns into a revolution, I feel like I could, you know, murder some people. But until that point, I was like, when we get to the blowing up bridges part of the revolution, I'm there for that, right? But until then, I really don't have a lot of other skills except for comedy. So it was nice to have like a feeling like I was helping at least a little bit.
Yeah, I feel the same way. Like it just felt like I felt so hopeless, and it was good to just do something, you know?
How are you feeling now with the recent new election results?
Oh my gosh, just great. It was I'm sure it was the same there. It was just so joyful. I happened to be walking my dog on a sort of busy street, like our sort of like main street in my Brooklyn neighborhood. And it was like when the news came that Biden officially won, and it was everyone was just honking. A man got out of his car and started dancing on top of his car.
Wow.
It was just so beautiful, and like dogs were barking because they didn't know what was going on, and like this old man came up to me and he's like, "What happened?" And I was like, "Oh, we got a new president," and people were leaning out their windows and banging pots of pans. It was just so beautiful. And then later that day we went to my husband and I went to a birthday party in Central Park, and then that was just like another like celebration, and it just every 5 minutes or so people would just start screaming and cheering, and the entire park was just like on fire and screaming and so happy. So yeah, it was awesome. And
no, I have a friend who lives on the Lower East Side, and she posted a video of people just hanging out apartment buildings and banging pots and shit, and I was just like, it's like VJ Day in New York. It's like I was like, it's insane. It was like, I was happy. I was like, I don't know. Yeah. I felt the same way.
That's so beautiful. Literally gave me like goosebumps as you were saying that. Like, it's just, that's so wonderful. I guess it's that feeling of like, well, we'll see what happens. I mean, has Trump actually said that he's leaving yet? I feel like he's like,
that's not conceded. No.
Yeah.
He's got to use every, like, he can't let anybody have anything, you know? But, I mean, he just doesn't have the numbers on his side, so he can't, I mean, whatever.
Well, he might not have the illegal numbers on his side. Oh my God.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did we not tell you this is a election truther podcast around here?
Oh my God.
But yeah, that's it's very exciting. It is it's a nice relief. One less thing to think about, right?
Yeah. Positive.
Are you also working on your own podcast currently, the Comedians with Ghost Stories?
Yeah, I don't know why I do this podcast, but I'm so like, I don't know. I'm not funny on it. I'm not showing off like comedy skills or any skills. But I keep doing it, and I restarted it. I did it last year just around Halloween, and then I restarted it in September to give myself a project, because I just felt like in August I was like panicking and I needed a project. And then now I'm kind of like in it, and I have like a million episodes that I've recorded and haven't published. So I guess I'm just the ghost lady now. I don't know.
That's fun.
It's comedians telling their real ghost stories, and I feel like my job in it is to just sort of find them and then get out of the way and record their stories.
Do you ever get scared? Like, as in, do you ever find them quite scary?
Oh my gosh, yeah, totally. There's some really good and freaky ones. And yeah, there's some funny ones too. And I think it's just like who is telling the story and how. I don't know. I recorded a guy the other day, and I cannot remember his ghost story, but I remember that he was incredibly funny about it. And, you know, it's just sort of based on their personalities. But like, I put out an episode on Halloween that is legitimately freaky.
Wow.
Because this woman sees a ghost, and then repeatedly over the years. And then can I tell you what happens really quick?
Yeah, for sure.
Well, I mean,
Matt
I'm
gets
never going to listen to
about Matt's quite scared of ghosts, but I'd love to hear
it. A happy ghost story though.
Okay.
So then they find the bones. So she keeps seeing this skeleton ghost. And then in this old house that her parents bought without electricity. And then her dad starts knocking down the walls in the basement and finds the skeleton, the actual skeleton that she'd been seeing. And they found all this stuff was buried with him. And he had he had some Union soldier outfit, an original version of the Scarlet Letter, and a gun. And they sold all of it, and it paid for her college. So that's great.
What?
Wow, that really is a happy ghost story.
Hey, okay, I guess so. Yeah, I mean,
Matt looked absolutely terrified, and and I feel worried, Matt, that you're gonna like really not sleep now. But
I mean, ghosts are scary, but you know what? It's even more scary is college debt. No,
one of the things
you'll
I
never
found
pay it off. Oh, sorry.
Before I really knew Matt at all, I'd literally met him, I don't know, a couple of times, and we got chatting after a gig, and I was asking about how he was and stuff, and he was like, "Oh, but I can't sleep, or I've got all the lights on, or whatever." And I was like, "What do you mean?" And he was like, "Well, my wife's on town, so I have to like have all the lights on." And I was like, "What?"
No, that's not what I said. I said I can't sleep because my wife's out of town, and you were like, "Oh, is it because you miss her so much?"
Oh, that's true. Yeah, that is what I said. I forgot.
And then I was like, "Nope, just afraid of ghosts."
and then I thought you were joking.
Feel bad now we're talking about the skeleton in the wall.
No, it's fine. Wait, I'm confused by this. Was it like they had walled up a room with some dude and all his stuff inside, like an Egyptian pharaoh?
This is like, this house, I guess, was like from the 1800s or something, and this was in the basement. Yeah, he was in the wall. They walled him up. They entombed him in the house, and she saw the skeleton. She saw visions of the skeleton for years before they actually found him. And her dad was just like, "Okay, we're doing the basement. I'm gonna start, like, we've lived here for years," and he put in all the electricity himself. And then he was like, "Okay, now I want to remodel the basement because we're just unusable stone basement with like nothing going on." So he starts breaking into the wall and finds this guy.
I just can't imagine that. Like, as in, like, you're just like, I'm just gonna do some DIY, and you just like find a skeleton. I mean, that is horrific. But actually, yeah, I don't know. I don't believe in ghosts, although that story kind of makes me feel like maybe. But recently, not really recently, a few months back, my toddler kept saying like, waking up in the night and crying and pointing at the cupboard and going, "Man, man." And I was like, "There's no man, like it's just cars going past, like trying to be like it's just shadows and lights from the cars." And he literally said, "No, dead man." And it really fucking scared, like, it scared me so much. Because that night specifically, my husband was in London and I was alone in the house with the two boys. And when you're just suddenly like, "Oh my God, like I'm absolutely terrified, but I'm the only adult here and I have to be like responsible." Yeah. And then he ran out into the living room and I went after him being like, "Look, you have to go back to sleep." And he was turned away from me and just like staring at the wall. And then he starts turning back in slow motion and he was just going, "Tick tock, tick tock." This is 100% true.
Oh my God, this is amazing.
See, I can see why you do this podcast now, because you love to hear these things.
And I was just like, I honestly was like, this is insane. Like the stuff you have to deal with on a day-to-day basis as a parent is bad enough, like without having to do like exorcisms as well.
Tell Emily what you found out about the house.
Oh, and then this was the other thing was like, and then I'm like talking to someone who knew the daughter of the guy who lived here before us, and apparently he died in the bathroom of our apartment.
That's the guy, dude. That is the guy.
And I was just like, well, I'm sure it's not him because it's not like he's in the cupboard. It was in the bathroom, so it can't be the same man.
Maybe he died in the bathroom, like he slipped in the shower, and now his ghost just wants to get clothes out of the closet so that he cannot be naked and dead.
Yeah.
That's his unfinished business. He just wants to get dressed.
Just doesn't want to be naked.
This is an amazing story. Oh, your kid sees dead people.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely did seem to be, but thankfully he's stopped talking about it. I mean, for a while he kept talking about it, but we just kept ignoring him.
How long ago was that?
I think it was just before lockdown, actually. So I think it was probably, it must be like 8 months by now.
I love that this is like a podcast within a podcast.
Yeah, you can if you're ever strapped for episodes, you can just cut this audio out. Just drop it into your own podcast.
Anyway, yeah. I'm sorry, Matt. We shouldn't have talked about all of this.
That's all right. I'm just happy you're not living the Babadook. I'm very bad at being scared. In fact, you scared me the other day, Emily, when you sent me an email, and you know how, well, so what happened is Emily sent me an email, and you know how sometimes when you send an email, it says like sent from Android or sent from Tara's iPhone or whatever, right? Emily's emails are signed sent from inside your closet. And I was like, that's funny.
And then went and checked.
I better go check the closet. Like, it's silly. It's silly. Even so, it's a little upsetting. I'm a little upset now.
I've always loved doing that sort of thing to people. I remember doing that to a friend years ago, and on Facebook, it was like MSN Messenger. I said that I was watching her from outside her window, and she was like, "You are not." She was like, "What color pajamas am I wearing?" And I said red, just as a random guess. And she absolutely freaked out because she was wearing red pajamas. So
amazing.
But I've just always, I love a joke like that. I think, I mean, obviously it causes other people anxiety, but for me, it's very entertaining.
For me, as a full-on sociopath, it really is the best kind of entertainment.
Dear. But anyway. Emily, so what about obviously we're going to talk to you again in 6 months' time, so it would be really fun to hear some of your sort of predictions for the future and what you think you'll be up to in 6 months' time, what you think will be happening in the world.
Great. Well, what do I think? I think that a TikTok star is going to get a TV show. And I think that
yeah, this is so depressing. Like, I think some undeserving TikTok asshole is going to get a TV show.
Dude, I love
Meanwhile,
TikTok.
I have 10 perfectly good scripts ready to go.
You know what? It's totally true.
I know.
But I do love TikTok. But okay, wait, 6 months. So I think that the vaccine will be out. I think there will be a vaccine. I hope it's the Dolly Parton vaccine. And I hope that people who are more at risk get the vaccine first. I do not think I will be quite vaccinated. Wait, what is 6 months from now? Sorry.
It'll be mid-May.
It'll be mid-May. Okay, so I will just have had a birthday.
Oh, happy birthday!
And I hope that. Okay, so I will have just gotten. Okay, I will be playing volleyball. I will be doing a little bit of stand-up comedy, but still not a ton, but outdoors. Mm-hmm. I will be waiting on my vaccine, which I will be getting at the beginning of June, so that I can go to my friend's wedding in July in Alaska.
Wow.
And I will have one big project, and I don't know if it's a TV show or a new book deal, but I'm going to go ahead and say it. And, oh my God, mid-May, I'm going to be wearing regular pants.
Yeah.
Hey, let's walk before we fly, all right?
Oh, that's
TV
awesome.
show's one thing, regular pants, come on. We don't want to break your own heart here.
That's so exciting. I love
exciting.
it. That's so nice to have all those, really great predictions in there. That's fantastic. And I really hope you have a big, big project.
Yeah.
You have to be optimistic. Otherwise, it will be bad.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
And, it would be a really big boon for us if you become famous between now and the next time we talk. Then,
that'd be great. Oh, famous? I don't think that, I don't predict that.
Wow.
I just want to be like, listen, I don't need to be famous. I just want to be rich.
You're so humble.
And successful. Okay, that's it. If nobody knows who I am quite fine with that.
Yeah, me too. Like, I just want the money. That's the main thing.
I want to be doing a lot for creative stuff. So I feel like good about myself, but like I don't need anyone else to know about it. It would be great to get like 1 million Twitter followers, but I haven't found my social medium yet. I haven't really found one that like really, really speaks to me. So I guess I'm just a bad comedian.
Emily, do you have any like big swing predictions, big wild predictions for the future can be about anything that's going on in the world?
Okay. For the next 6 months or for farther down the line?
6 months or farther. I don't know. What do you got? Let's see what you got.
I kind of think we're going to go through a big stop eating meat. Like as a mainstream, it's going to be mainstream. That's my big prediction for the next like 3 years. I would say like maybe 2 to 3 years. I think meat is. I think there's going to be like essays written in the Atlantic, like the moral issues of eating meat, and like everyone's going to like suddenly realize that we should all be vegan or something. Yeah, that's a big prediction. I just think it's gone on. I think like the factory farming has gone on too long. And now it's
this meeting thing's gone on for far too long.
And I do think it's like the next thing on the docket. I just believe that.
Are you vegan or?
No, I am I said, like, I like meat. I don't eat any meat that is not, I don't eat any fish. I don't eat any meat that isn't beef, solely because I cannot 100% give it up. I haven't had meat since September, I think, but when the next time I go home to Chicago, I will go to Portillo's and I will get an Italian beef sandwich and I will not feel bad about it. And my mouth is watering right now.
Yeah. Oh, suddenly there's a hamburger in your hand. Where did that even come from?
Wouldn't it be really... What? Sorry, Matt, did you just say you're vegetarian?
Did you not know I was vegetarian?
No, I had no idea you were vegetarian. Are you actually
I've been vegetarian for half my life now.
Amazing. Like, congratulations.
21 years. Are you
joking? I can't believe this. I didn't even know this about you. This is so funny.
Yeah.
Here's how much I don't know you. Oh my God.
So Emily, we are not going to say goodbye to you now. Through the miracle of editing, we are going to continue this conversation seamlessly in 6 months. But there's one thing we ask our guests to do, which is that we would like you to set up a joke or some kind of statement that you do not know the end of. And then what will happen is we'll edit the two conversations together seamlessly. You have one flawless joke. So you have a few seconds.
So funny. Look at these are all setups. I have a pack of setups. These are tests. So I write for this, I write for this game called That's What She Said. And it's a card game.
Okay.
And so I have all these setups and some of them I wrote. Maybe I'll just use one of these.
Yeah, and then you can come up with the ending in 6 months' time, which would be great.
Okay. To stop a man from playing video games, just say, a new copy of The New Yorker just arrived. It's a great punchline. It says new twice in it, so double words. That's always
a classic part. It's good when you use repeat words a lot in a joke, I find. That's great. That's great joke structure.
My first instinct was to go something that you would not expect, because these men have to take a lot beating from society about what puds they are. So
yeah, I mean, those poor gamers, they're so nice to everybody online and they get no respect in return. I love the idea that that there's a gentleman playing video games, but he's also very erudite and he's like, oh, a New Yorker. Yeah. I love, okay, wait to read Talk of the Town.
I've got some cartoons to peruse. Yeah.
Oh, this Roz Chast cartoon is quite droll. That's great. Emily, how have you been the last 6 months?
Well, good. It's so funny. I was like freaking out in my last episode about the winter and COVID and everything, and it was all bad. It was all bad.
It was, yeah, you were right. No, you're saying, you know right. What? Spot on freak out.
But I'm just so happy that it's over, and I feel like I'm getting out of bed with a pep in my step now, so that's good.
No, that's good. Hey, well, I'm glad to hear that. So are you back playing volleyball?
Yes. I've been playing volleyball 3 times a week.
Wow.
I'm so excited. Yeah.
You're going pro.
I plan Saturdays, Sundays, and then I try to schedule a morning one because I got a new job that I started in March. And so I'm working afternoon and nights. Yeah.
So is this the one you were hoping to have a big project? So did you get a big project?
I did. So I'm working, it's a full-time staff writing job on a show, and the show is premiering in September, and it is a kids show on Nickelodeon. It's a kids comedy. So
nice. What's it called?
It's called That Girl Lele.
Okay.
Yeah, it's very fun. I've been working remotely. The staff that I'm working with is in Los Angeles, so I'm the only one in New York. So I start really late in the day and go really late. So I haven't been able to do stand-up comedy, which has been tough, especially because the guy who created the show, my boss, is a stand-up comic, and he's always talking about his great shows, and I'm like, I can't do it because I'm here, but it's a great job, and I'm really happy to have it.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
Is it a cartoon or is it live action or?
It's live, yeah.
Okay.
Lele is a rapper. She was the youngest ever signed rapper when she was 11, and now she's 14, and this is her show.
So she's past her prime. thick.
It's so funny. She's so little, and it's like this whole machine revolves around this teeny tiny little talent, you know? I guess that's the way it works at Nickelodeon. So yeah.
Well, that's
and
great.
You
Well,
had a baby.
I had a baby. It's not as
That's
exciting as a
cute.
TV writing gig.
I think it is. It's the biggest like life-changing event that could happen.
Sure. I mean, it's definitely life changing, but it's not getting me on the IMDb anytime soon. Or I need them industry creds.
IMD baby.
Yeah, my baby Tavish, he's a good little man. And yeah, I don't know. He wiggles around. He held a ball today, which was just phenomenal. It's
hey, I
amazing
haven't held a ball today. Like,
yeah,
listen.
well, it's like, wait, let me try now. Oh, fuck. Actually, yeah, it's amazing how low your expectations for another human being drop once you have a baby, because you're just like, what's he doing? Anything? I'll take it. Like the slightest amount of eye contact, the tiniest smile, you're just like, I love it. Everything's been worth it.
Aww.
The pile of shit I had to clean up today because he pooped all over the changing mat, like 100% worth it because he held a tiny ball.
Oh my god.
I can't wait till he's older and lockdown's over here and I can start taking him to museums and places. So
Are you guys in lockdown?
yeah, we're still kind of in lockdown. So on Monday you can start doing dining indoors with up to 6 people.
Okay.
Right now all dining has to be outdoors, and you're still not supposed to mingle with more than like a couple of households.
Okay.
Which has been changing. Like, it's been slowly opening up since March. And so theoretically, everything will be open in June.
Okay.
But yesterday, the Prime Minister said that because of the Indian variant, that might not happen. Yeah.
Are you guys vaxxed?
I have my first shot the other day. Have you had your vaccine? Because that was one of your predictions that you maybe wouldn't have it. But did you?
I did, and actually, I had the Johnson & Johnson vaccine before that was like, hey, women of childbearing age probably shouldn't get this.
Whoops.
I'm still here.
Yeah.
But as
Hey.
a lot of my smarter friends have like reminded me, as women in our 30s, we were all put on birth control as teenagers, and that had just the same risk of blood clots, and I was on it for so many years, and yeah.
That's a much higher risk of blood clots. I think it's like a factor of 10 higher.
Oh, wow.
And which is something that I didn't know about.
No, it's terrible.
Is that just something that women know about, that maybe just because I'm a man I just never experienced it, or is it just like a thing that nobody really knew about until now?
I knew about it, but the way I just think like there's this whole issue of like dismissing women's pain and the danger that they're in, and that's also like a race issue too, right? So like it's so weird. Like doctors have always been to me like, yeah, risk of blood clots. Okay, here it is, and like never like really the way that it's always just been so flippantly said to me. I assume that blood clots was just like, I don't know, like my blood getting in the fetal position for a second and then stretching back out. I don't know, like I'm like I just guess I didn't think it was a big deal. And
So you thought all your blood would stop for a moment and then just just jumpstart itself again.
yeah, I don't know. I just I was like, I guess clotting's pretty normal, but apparently it's very dangerous.
It is.
Who cares about women?
Yes. I mean, no. I mean, yeah. The medical community doesn't, and society in general, I guess, and then a lot of men. Actually, yeah, you're right.
And because of it, we hate ourselves. So truly, nobody cares about women.
Yeah. I'm gonna go hashtag yes all men on that. It is such a fucked up thing. So, but you had no adverse side effects.
I mean, just the day after my coworkers, the EPs on the show was like, "You looked really bad yesterday," or like 2 days later, and I was like, "Yeah." I mean, I had a headache. I was working, but I had a headache and I was tired and just normal stuff. Yeah.
Well, I had the AstraZeneca, which.
Oh, so that's another clotty one.
Yeah, which they stopped giving to women over here as well.
Okay.
But that really kicked my ass. And yeah, but as soon as I took something for it, like it was gone. So if I had taken something before I went to bed, but I had no symptoms until then. So anyway.
That's so strange. I mean, we don't have AstraZeneca here, but for over here, everyone complains about their second shot, not their first.
Oh yeah, but that's apparently the thing with like the AstraZeneca. It's bad. The first is bad, but with Pfizer, the second one is bad.
See, this is why I need more friends in other countries, because I did not know this hot AstraZeneca goss. Okay.
Yeah, but anyways, enough about our
the sad state of misogyny in the medical community and vaccinations. And
But I mean, vaccinations, I've been meaning to diary because I just feel like this is a really special time right now. Like this month and just where we were. And I mean, it's a little different here, it sounds like, because we're really busting out trying to get back to normal here. And it just feels like every day is like has rainbows over it. I don't know. It's very exciting. So
yeah.
Yeah.
Just the birds are singing, or all the trees are in bloom, and just you walk by everybody, it's like, hello, it's it's like you live on Sesame Street.
Yeah. It is weird. Like I was out last night and I was getting ready and I was like, oh yeah, you should put on makeup because people will actually see your face. Like I'm just used to being like, they're only gonna see the top half anyways. Just who cares?
Well, that was one of the questions I had for you. Is one of your big goals was to wear regular pants. So is that?
So I guess I said last time that I had not worn zip-up pants since March 11th, 2020. And last week was my birthday. May 8th was my birthday. And I've been working out like crazy. I was talking about Ring Fit last time. And I've been working out 5 to 6 days a week between volleyball and Ring Fit. Yeah, and tennis. So we were on Weight Watchers. We're kind of off now, but we're just like working out like crazy. I was able to fit into my biggest pair of pants on my birthday, and I wore them again last night. And so I am definitely cannot fit into most of my pants, but like my big ones, like my size up ones, I can fit into. So that's exciting.
Well, yeah, but you're on the road to
I'm getting
in
down
the regular
there.
pants.
It just takes a long time now, you know?
It does. I need to I recently made the mistake of weighing myself, and that was a terrible wake-up call.
Yeah.
But it's like, oh, this is why none of my shirts fit. Oh, that's nice to know.
It's happened to so many people.
Yeah, I definitely need to start getting more active and whatever.
It's weird. Like, when I was 22, I went on Jenny Craig, which is like, I don't know if you know, it's like this diet thing where you have to go to, like, whatever. Anyway, I lost a ton of weight on it in just like 4 months or something. And now, I mean, I wasn't as disciplined this past winter as I was when I was on Jenny Craig at 22, but like I do notice that it takes so much just losing the weight. Like it's just like this super long ridiculous process. And I do think that I put on 30 pounds. I think I put on 30 pounds during the pandemic, so I've got a lot to lose. Yeah
I think that's about where I am too. So you had a birthday. How was your birthday?
Weird. I was just so pumped to have a birthday out of lockdown-ish.
Right.
So I organized volleyball in the morning, and then we played in the rain, and then we were like a bunch of people. I got a permit from the Parks Department of New York City to throw a big party in the park, and then it rained.
Oh.
And then I was like, okay, like plan B.
How big of a party are we talking about? Was this like a street? Like, did you block off it was like a block party?
I invited over 100 people.
Really?
Because it's just like a bunch of comedians that I haven't been able to see, you know? And I'm just like, listen, we're going to set up lawn sports and surreptitiously drink beer. And I just want to see everybody and like play and see these comics that I would normally see randomly all the time.
Yeah.
So that didn't happen. So we went to this is just like a really comedy of errors. But then I was like, we are going to make this fun because I love my birthday. And I missed it last year. So there's this old karaoke bar called Winnie's in Chinatown, and they had closed like years ago, and I was sad. I loved that bar, and they reopened in 2019, and I still hadn't been, so I was like, you guys, there's a small group of like 6 people. I was like, let's go to Winnie's. So we go to Winnie's, and they are closed, and they will not open or answer their phones. So then we go to this other bar, and we're like, we can go to bars now. Let's just go to this bar and figure out what we're gonna do because it's raining. And it was a 25-year-old's birthday party, and she was wearing a hat that said, it's my fucking birthday, and everyone was super obnoxious, and we were like, we hate being in bars with people. And then we found another karaoke bar, and we went there, and they were like, yes, you can come in, and we were like, great, we were the only people there. And then we were like, where are the microphones? And they were like, no microphones because of COVID. So we just screamed in a corner, and it was fine. It was very fun, actually. But it was just
yeah. Well, that sounds extremely fun. An epic adventure. How many of the 100 comedians did you get to go on this adventure with you?
I only emailed a small group because you can't bring 100 people someplace yet because it's capacity and stuff is still not at 100%. So there was 6 of us and it was nice.
Yeah, I'm glad that karaoke has survived in some form because that was one of the things that we talked to an owner. Do you know there's a bar in Brooklyn called Minnie's and there's another one called Hinterlands.
I don't know these bars. Oh my gosh,
they're good.
Making crazy.
I recommend them. But we talked to the owners of those bars. And they were saying that they used to have karaoke, and I was just like, is karaoke going to be a thing when COVID's over?
I hope so.
Because karaoke seems like the worst thing in a pandemic to have every bunch of people, unless you're bringing your own microphones, I guess. Which that's the lesson for next time is bring your own microphones.
Or mic conduct. They would not have plugged them in for us. It was just there was no equipment to be seen.
Oh.
Yeah, I hope it survives. I think it will. Karaoke is one of the things I've really, really missed throughout all of this. We sort of take stock in all the things that we can't have and figure out what we can live without, and karaoke's not one of them.
Right.
So yeah.
Though I do prefer the karaoke in the room, just a private room karaoke with just your friends. I always think that's the best.
I agree. My husband likes doing it publicly. I'll do it either way, but I like controlling the music. So you were singing with your friends, but this was basically public karaoke that was private because no one else was there, so it was good.
The best of both worlds.
It was 7 p.m. Yeah.
Yeah. No, because the problem with public karaoke is often there's such a wait for your song and for your friend's song that it's just but it's nice.
Not worth it.
But I feel like private room karaoke seems like that's easier in a time of COVID to hose down between people or whatever.
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm surprised a lot of the private room karaoke places are not open here. I've been keeping an eye. Anyway, it's a good time.
Yeah, it's a good time. It sounds like you had a great birthday. I'm glad that you had such a fun time. But you say you haven't been able to do stand-up very much since you're writing, because you got this writing gig. So is this a thing where now that you have this gig, is it a long-term thing to maybe move to LA or?
There's a big good chance that we're going to have to move in October. The show keeps getting pushed. The air date of the show keeps getting pushed back because of the Olympics, actually. So now I think it would be October, which is great because I want to hang out during the fun New York months, and then it would be cool to leave right when it gets bad. But yeah, I always hated the idea of moving to Los Angeles. I am in love with New York, but I've lost so many friends over the last several years, and then living in New York City during this pandemic when everything was shut down, and then seeing how it's getting rebuilt, but with names that I don't recognize or know, I kind of feel like it's a good time to, there's all these really young kids that were doing stand-up throughout the pandemic. A lot of them got COVID, I guess. Somebody was telling me that it did that. Yeah. But yeah, it's all these kids that I'm sure, you can't be good if you just started a year ago. It's whatever, but it's being rebuilt with names I don't recognize. And if you're gonna go, I think it's a good time to go. I'm so sick of my friends moving away from New York and feeling old. Right. It just, we have some friends in Los Angeles, and my husband is a comic and he's an actor. And so as much as we are hesitant to leave our little life here, I think it'll be good for us, and we're kind of into it.
Yeah. Before I ever visited LA, it seemed like a terrible place.
Yeah.
But now that I've visited LA a few times, I'm actually this place is kind of great. There's lots to recommend the city of Los Angeles.
Yeah. I think you find your things and your people. I'm so much less concerned now. I love drinking and partying, but I like to party in the afternoon, and I like to go out with the friends that I already have, and my husband, and play games, and I don't need to go out at 11 p.m. and do the bar scene. So it's different.
Right. You don't need to go at 11 to a rave in a warehouse. That's not your speed anymore.
Exactly. And I kind of feel I don't know if it said this before, but there's this tweet that I can never get out of my head that somebody tweeted a long time ago, and it was Los Angeles is boring heaven and New York is fun hell. And I kind of feel maybe it's time to go to boring heaven for a while. And, drink green juice and play beach volleyball all the time and have a job making TV. Cause,
that's the thing is you're going there with a job, and that's an amazing thing. So good for you.
I'm pumped. I hope I don't work in children's television forever whatever.
Right.
But I am having a blast and learning so much, and the people that I work with are really, like, really smart and funny, and, like, I guess I never really thought about that when you watch these shows, but, like, just the caliber, like, I aspire to be as funny as them, so that is a good place to be, you know?
Yeah, that's excellent. Yeah, that sounds great. Oh, I was going to say, is this your first regular writing gig?
No, but it's my first episodic and first WGA. So I wasn't in the
cool.
the Writers Guild before. Yeah, I wrote for a show before I met you. It was like right before I moved back to New York, and then we were working on the festival. It was called Come Here and Say That, and it was like a nightly daily show type thing on the Fusion Network.
Okay.
So it was like silly, like, political jokes and news jokes and stuff.
I see.
And it was short-lived. It got canceled pretty swiftly.
I apologize. I've never heard of it.
No one ever has. No one knows. Oh, I actually have a Come Here and Say That pint glass right here.
Oh, yeah.
It existed. It existed, I promise.
Okay. Well, or you've gone to a long way to support this lie. Like, had to have your own pint glasses printed. I mean, fine. Honestly, the only thing I really knew about the Fusion Network is I think the Chris Gethard show was on that for a while.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Well, that's great. So, Emily, what's the biggest change you think you've experienced over the last 6 months?
I was just starting to, like, focus on my body and try to get out of my slump, and now I feel like I'm really in it and really working on it, and even though I'm still, like, needing to lose weight, I'm, like, stronger than I've ever been, and I can see my muscles in the mirror, and it's really weird.
Right.
So that's really exciting for me. I don't know. And obviously
that's good.
this job.
It's good that you're making, like, that progress, because I mean, I don't know, when we first talked to you, you'd said that your legs stopped working.
Yeah.
You've been so lazy.
It was rock bottom, baby. Like,
yeah.
I went through months of physical therapy. I'm actually going to go back because I had, like, a flare up, but they think there's something like my joints are, I don't know. It's fine. But yeah, it's like,
process.
it was a wake up call, and now I'm like in it. And another thing is, like, something that we didn't really talk about is because I went to the gynecologist, and she was like, you need to get your ovaries removed now. And I was like, oh shit, I did not know that. I always thought, I know that I have this gene mutation, and I always thought I'd have to get them out at 40, and I'm not 40. And she's like, no, we switched it, now you have to do it in your 30s. And I was like, oh shit, what? And then she was like, you better decide fast, and if you want kids, like biological children, you need to, like, freeze your embryos. And I was just, like, so overwhelmed and kind of freaked out. I talked to my husband, and we started the process of freezing our embryos, and then we started getting bills, and I thought it was going to be covered by insurance, and it wasn't. And then it just, like, forced this whole, like, thing that I've never wanted to think about of, like, do I want to have children? And, like, I, like, really, really don't. And I didn't, and I never was able to say that before, because, like, no one ever threatened to take my money away, you know?
Right.
So it's like,
it's not even that you're losing the option. It's like, I'm losing the money. The money's the point.
Well, that's the thing. It's like, I'm totally willing to take whatever money I have and throw it at something that I care deeply about and that I know I want. And it just made me realize I do not want this. Congratulations on your new baby.
Yes, I mean, why am I just hearing this now? It's fine.
Yeah, so I kind of feel like my husband was on board, maybe keeping the idea of adopting open for the future, and just like, but I feel like there's a giant weight lifted off my chest that was like, because I've always thought when I hit a certain age, I will just want babies, and I will want to throw my life away and everything I've been working for and take care of this baby, and I'm sorry. This is like how I see it, okay? So it's like, it's like me being the most, like, pessimistic about it, right? Yeah, go for it.
No, it is one of those things that now that we have the baby, it's kind of like, oh, remember we could do literally anything we wanted? And now that's just not an option anymore.
No, but it's like, it's fulfilling.
They say that it is. So,
but the thing is, I never got the feeling. So, like, I'll do anything crazy if I have this feeling inside me that's telling me to go for it and do it. And, like, that's what makes it worth it and whatever. But, like, I don't have that. and I finally, like, over this last 6 months, I, like, had to admit, this is probably the biggest change in me internally. I had to admit to myself that, like, hey, I'm getting up there, and I don't have the feeling. I just never got it. When I think about having a baby, I get anxious and sad, and I don't bond well with babies or small children, and I don't want one, and I don't want to know what a small meal would be like. I really have no desire. So that is huge, because once I admitted that to myself and to my husband, who was like, okay, I still love you and I still want to march forward in our relationship, then I feel great, because we are very good at, like, when you're saying, like, when we could literally do whatever we want, like, I feel like some people are not that, they'll just sit on the couch forever, but, like, when we're not in lockdown, like, we're pretty good at saying, like, let's just do this, let's go upstate, let's go to this weird new restaurant, like, so I feel like I'm pumped because we get to keep doing that.
That's fine. Hey,
and it's totally the opposite of what, and I do sincerely mean congratulations on your new baby.
This has been, honestly, this isn't the first time we've had this conversation on the podcast, because we had Caitlin Durante. Do you know Caitlin Durante?
Oh, yeah.
She's been on a couple weeks ago, and between our first conversation and our second conversation, she was sterilized. And
wow.
Yeah, I recommend going back to the back catalog and checking out that conversation with Caitlin. But yeah, she talked about how difficult a process it was to be voluntarily sterilized, because a lot of doctors won't do it. Because again, this is the whole thing with, like, the medical community not believing women or not.
They don't believe.
Yeah, they're like, you'll change your mind. You just haven't met the right guy yet, or whatever. But yeah, so, and it is, it is a thing where you're just like, yeah, the people don't want that. They should not have to worry about that pressure dealing with it. It's something that I wanted to do and my wife wanted to do, or I think she wanted to do. I don't know. At the time, I don't know. At the time, seemed like a good idea, and I feel like in the long run, we'll feel like a fine idea. But right now, we're still 3 months. We're still very new to it, and it is very stressful. There are parts that are very stressful, but then it's like, yeah.
My best friend has a almost 4-year-old. Oh my god, she is so happy and loves her son so much and is so excited that she did this. She said the first 7 months were hell,
right?
And then it got great.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So yeah, there you go. Yeah, I mean, it's just, it's a thing that I'm looking forward to when he's a little bit older and we can go on little adventures together, and I think that's going to be really fun, and showing him all the stuff that I like and forcing him to watch Star Trek and things like that. So I think that's the kind of stuff. But yeah, I mean, there's such a stigma against it, and I see that where you're just like, you just want to finally say out loud, like, I just don't want kids.
Yeah, and I think I've always felt that there was something like what you're describing is what I have always thought I should feel, like this, desire to do all these things, and I have always felt like there's something kind of wrong with me, and I've just been waiting for the feeling, and then and to just say, like, it didn't come is like, just I mean, maybe there is something wrong with me, but, like, okay, I'm just accepting it,
I think it's a thing that more people are either maybe not feeling, but are willing to express out loud, and I think that's a positive thing, because certainly if you don't want kids, you shouldn't have kids, because that's a recipe for shitty adults.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think that's great. I'm happy for you. Did you have to have your ovaries removed, or has that happened?
So because it's impossible for me to get an appointment with the specialist that I need to talk to.
Yeah.
This is still in my to-do list every day. I have to call this one place that never picks up and then get them to send records to this other place, but then their fax machine is broken, so I need to get them to email it, but it's unbelievably, this is an ongoing thing. I need to talk to the specialist and see if my gynecologist is right and this is an emergency, because I would rather wait if I can. No one under 40 in my family has ever gotten ovarian cancer. They've all gotten it in their 50s, so I'm hoping that 40 will be fine. But she did fucking put the panic of God in me or whatever, like fear of God in me when she said all that. I was like, whoa!
You're a ticking time bomb!
Yeah, but, like, the shitty thing about getting your ovaries removed is you either have to go through early menopause, which is what Lena Dunham did, and I applaud her for doing that. She looks not how I want to look now. It's just, like, I don't want to have menopause bod, man. I just don't. I'm working so hard on my body. I want my curves. I want my waist. I want it.
Mm.
Yeah. So, or you take you take hormone replacement therapy, which could make you crazy, also gives you blood clots, ha ha ha, and then
boy, there's just no.
There's no
like
way.
It's like a choose your own adventure book, but every choice is just blood clots.
Yeah, totally. Everything ends in blood clots. And then another thing with the menopause is like your bones get weaker. And I'm like, but I feel like I'm sporty. I want to keep playing sports as you it. So I don't know. So I would like to keep my ovaries as long as I can. So this is an ongoing thing. Yeah.
Yeah. And you're moving to LA. Everybody plays volleyball in LA. And
I need my bones.
You need your bones for that.
Bones. Yeah.
Can't have fragile bird bones trying to play volleyball out in LA. It's a tough volleyball culture too. That's the thing they don't tell you about LA. Is like they're real serious about it. So okay. Well, yeah. I mean, yeah. And if you're moving and everything, that's probably something you want to wait and do when you get settled into your new place. So at the very least,
it really is not that bad of a surgery. It's so funny. Because my mom had it, she was like, I was back to work the next day, but then like my doctor's like, give yourself 2 weeks rest. So somewhere in between.
Yeah. No, it's a different generation.
Yeah.
They're like, no, you work every day and you die at your desk and you're happy. Well, that's a big change over the last 6 months, and it sounds really great. I mean, I hope you get that done at the appropriate time, like, where it doesn't go too far, or like, I hope you don't get cancer, I guess is what I'm saying.
Thank you. I hope so too.
Hey, Emily, can I just say from the bottom of my heart, and this is just because we're friends, I hope you don't get cancer.
You're such a generous spirit.
You know what? That's what people say about me. They're like, that Matt, he's so kind. He's always like, just like, hey, don't get cancer. That's how I sign. Like when I'm hosting shows, that's how I usually sign off. It's like, hey, I'm Matt Storn. Thanks for coming out. And hey, stay cancer free out there. Yeah. Anyways, I respect that decision. That's a great. I think fewer people should have kids.
I agree.
I don't regret having my son. He's perfect in every way. But it's definitely not a decision for everybody to make.
Yeah.
Or it is a decision for everybody to make, but it's not a thing that everybody should do. So there you go. Okay. So was there anything particularly surprising listening back to the first half that like surprised you, like thinking about, like you were like, oh my God, I can't believe I was into that, or I was like volleyball. Oh my God, I haven't played that in 6 months.
No, I it's more about an attitude, and where you listen back and you're like, oh yeah, I was terrified for the winter. Terrified.
Yeah.
And it's just not a thing I'm thinking about on a day-to-day now. So, no, I kind of feel like the stuff I was doing made sense to me then. I haven't thought about, like, I was talking about maybe doing another book project or putting a pitch together, and I haven't done anything with that because it was, like, in February. I found out I was getting this job, and I was just like, cool. So, yeah.
Screw you, reading. Television's the wave of the future.
So I really have not been, like, working on something that I feel like something new that I want to get pitched out. That is just, like, something that me and my writing partner have been working on. So, yeah. So I think that kind of got left behind. But all of these projects and stuff, and I have to remind myself about this with stand-up, this is all so I can get the writing jobs that actually pay the bills.
Sure.
So, but of course, then you have FOMO for what you can't do. But I need to, like, I'm trying to just, like, deal with that and be appreciative for what I have, which is a steady income and a cool, fun job. Yeah.
Yeah, and a WGA card.
Yeah, they need to get on that. They have not received mine yet, and I feel like an imposter.
It's like, I swear, I'm a writer, guy.
Yeah. They just shot the episode with my name on it. It's the second episode of the season, and it's my writing partner and I. Yeah, and it ended in the dad, it's like this family, whatever, and the dad getting a pot of gumbo exploding in his face, which is very Nickelodeon, and it's very fun to watch. Yeah.
Oh, really? Nice. Oh, that's exciting. Yeah, that must be really great. And so you got to be the credited writer on the episode. That's very great.
Yeah. It's pretty cool.
How many episodes do you get to be are you the credited writer on, or is it?
So we're doing them in chunks of 13. So for the first 13, I'll get 2. So nice. I guess probably like one season is 26 episodes. So hopefully that means like 4 per season, which is great.
Oh, wow. That's really great.
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. Okay. So is there anything that you wish you'd known 6 months ago that you know now?
Good question.
Is it? I mean, thank you. It's all right if you do. I mean, if you're like, no, I feel like I've been enjoying the process of discovery that is living my life.
I wish I would have known it was going to rain on my birthday, so I didn't invite 100 people and go through the trouble of getting a parks permit printed out and then not using it.
How'd you even get that printed out?
I went to a mail store that's like in the neighborhood, and I was like, can you print this from my email?
Yeah.
So that was a big waste of time.
Yeah. I was going to say, do you have a printer? What are you, like a billionaire?
What am I? What are you, from the 1990s? Yeah.
Yeah. That's fair. But then you did kind of get to have a birthday parade, right? Because it went from you just leading it through Chinatown and different neighborhoods.
It was a sad Chinatown parade of 6 people. Yeah.
But 2 of them did have a dragon costume on, so that was pretty fun.
Oh, God. Yeah. So, I don't know. I guess.
Yeah.
Like, it's nice when, because, everything's a question mark. I always wish that I could tell myself, like, hey, you're going to get a job. So, like, just try to, like, relax and have fun because something good's coming your way. And I always wish I would know that so that I just to kind of stop the panic that is coursing through my veins constantly. Yeah,
definitely things that alleviate your anxiety are definitely worth knowing, I think. So even not knowing, you got your job, and that's exciting. And hopefully it'll be a springboard to big movie deals.
Yeah.
Actually, you had predicted that a TikTok star would get a TV show, which I don't think I saw any TikTok stars getting TV shows.
The girl that I'm writing for, like, got her following on Instagram.
Oh, okay. So basically it's a thing. So not only did a TikTok star get a TV show,
you're
working for them.
Okay, TikTok's Hype House lands new Netflix reality show.
A reality show doesn't count.
No? Okay.
No, anybody can get a reality show. I can't. But anyway, yeah.
Hype House. Oh, wait. Sorry.
Is that the one, where the influencers all, like, live in the same house?
Yeah.
That sounds like a nightmare.
It does. It does. Okay.
A lucrative nightmare.
Okay, so maybe I was wrong. Or maybe I was right-ish.
You're right-ish, yeah. It's only a matter of time. But even if that is the case, it seems like you have jumped on that gravy train and you're just...
Oh, I'll write for these little shits all day long. I'll give them actual jokes. It's shocking how unfunny people can be.
I guess that's true.
Not the one that I'm writing for. I love her. But she's actually a talented person. Like,
sure.
We've been watching American Idol. I never watched American Idol before this. And, like, there's this one white guy who's, like, a good-looking young kid, and he can't fucking sing. And he misses notes, and he misses words. And America just keeps sending him to the next level. And I'm like, what is going on? Like, just... this kid is just nothing. Anyway.
Wait. You're saying that a handsome white guy is failing upwards in America?
So once we realized that, like, the show was just basically a bunch of dopes, like racist dopes, like voting for the white man, me and my husband and my brother-in-law who lives downstairs were like, oh, this is our civic duty to, like, vote for the people that actually deserve. So we've been watching it religiously and voting just to try to offset America.
So my phone bills are kind of crazy right now.
And that's the explanation for that.
So I spent a lot of money on texts. Had to buy a bunch of burner phones because you can only vote 5 times on one phone.
You got it. That's why when we were setting up, I have all these computers set up. I've got my American Idol logins. No.
Right. You're running a bot farm out of somewhere in Eastern Europe. You're running a bot farm, and you're just like, I need you guys to come in and vote for the really talented people. But you're putting the money. See, this is the thing you're talking about. It's like you'll put money towards things that are important, like getting the right people selected on American Idol. But like freezing embryos. Fuck that noise.
So weird.
No. Your priorities are perfectly in line for your life, and don't ever let anybody say different. Emily, this has been great. So finally, just what's next for you?
Got a couple trips lined up. Gonna go see my parents and my sister in Chicago.
Are you going to your friend's wedding?
I'm not.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
why not?
I can't go to Alaska. I can't take off. We don't really get days off. It doesn't really work like that,
No.
And the Alaska trip is like a week. It's like the wedding's on a Tuesday. They have like a week planned, and the reason it's on a Tuesday is like because you get jet lagged getting there. So like
right.
Then you're in Alaska. Like they have a whole like here's what you do and here's what we're doing and here's how to make the most of your trip, and we just can't do any of that. that because I have to work. So I'm bummed about that.
I'm sorry.
But, you know, it's fine. It's one of those things where it's like, we tried to figure out, like, okay, maybe we can rent a car and then you can drive and then I can work in the car and then you could go hiking and I'll sit in the car and work with internet that I don't know how I'm going to get. And, like, it's just, we're, like, at some point you're just like, okay, yeah. Also, we thought maybe there was a chance we would have to move to Los Angeles earlier. So we were like, okay, they might be like, you have to move on her wedding day. It just wasn't going to happen. So, oh well.
Mom, sorry about that.
Yeah, it's okay. It's life, you know.
But you got some other good trips lined up?
Yeah, gonna see my family, and then
Nice.
we're gonna go see some friends that moved out of New York and moved to North Carolina, so we're gonna go visit them, and probably go to Madison, Wisconsin in August.
Nice.
Fun. And yeah, just little thing to look
Sounds
forward to, and potentially living in an actual house in Los Angeles.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Do you have a neighborhood picked out?
I've got like 5 that I like.
Silver Lake.
Yeah, I mean,
Hollywood Hills.
I would not want to live in Silver Lake is one of them, but it's such a like thing that I'm like embarrassed to say it, but yeah.
Yeah, Los Feliz.
Silver Lake, Los Feliz.
Boy,
Echo
I really
Park,
nailed these.
Yeah, Echo Park,
Park.
Frogtown, and Atwater Village that's my area.
No, well, that's those are fun areas. Those are really nice. Like those are like neat areas from what I understand. They seem like really fun places to live.
I mean, if I'm gonna drag my husband across the country, like I'm putting it like that, like sort of as a joke, but sort of not. Like I want it to be. I want him to like. One of his best friends in the whole world lives in Los Feliz. Like I want him to have fun and be in a fun neighborhood and have a yard and like have access to the things that we really like dive bars and outdoor, and like a park and shit. So like those seem to be like good areas.
Yeah. Venice Beach. That place is very
I don't think
weird.
we could afford that anymore.
Is it expensive?
It
looks run down. Oh, okay, never mind then.
I think that it's turned now.
Ah, boo. Oh, well. I haven't been in a number of years. But I remember it being like just the right level of like, it really reminded me of the Jersey Shore. And I was like, I love this so much. Just for how like, it's just the right level of scummy for me.
Yeah. Like it's fun and exciting and yeah. Not safe, but not safe. Yeah.
Yeah. Kind of. That's kind of what I wanted.
Yeah. It's more shishi now. I think it's like one of those things where if we wanted to live on the water anywhere, we would have to sacrifice so much, and I would be driving to work for like an hour and a half. So,
forget it then.
But on the other hand, I don't want to live in the valley. I think
the valley. Yeah.
Because it's a little suburban feeling.
It is.
A little less exciting.
I'm sure you'll find the perfect neighborhood for you guys, eventually. And yeah, and like I said, even if you settle on Los Feliz or Silver Lake, they're meant to be quite amazing places. Though.
Yeah.
There's a reason people live there.
Right. But I'm worried about Silver Lake being overrun with 22-year-old TikTokers. But
fair.
So I'll try to get like I don't know, Los Feliz or Atwater Village or something else.
Yeah. Well, you'll find it. I'm sure you'll find the perfect spot. Emily, thanks again so much. Is there anything you want to plug? Any social media, or are you still doing Comedians with Ghost Stories?
I am. Comedians with Ghost Stories, my podcast. I'll probably do another month of episodes and then take a little summer hiatus because it's not a very spooky time, and then start it up again in like August, September. EMC Winter is my Instagram and Twitter, and in July you can pre-order my book called One Day Smarter.
One Day Smarter.
One Day Smarter is my trivia book that's coming out October 12th, and you can pre-order it in July.
Your book of fun trivia that you're talking about. Okay, awesome. That's One Day Smarter. Yeah, check it out. And and follow Emily on all the things. And she's a delight. You've all heard that she's such a delight.
I'm sad to have missed Tara on this, but please tell her hello from me.
It's all right. It was just a scheduling. She's going to be bummed to have missed you as well. We had such a fun part in the first part. But anyways, thanks again, Emily, and take care.
Thank you. Great to see you.
Bye.
Bye.
You in the intro, you were like, I think I'm gonna get into this whole TikTok thing. Did you ever do that?
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. That's nice, isn't it? It's nice
Yeah.
to think that like I had that process of being, and yeah, it's weird. I did obviously get into it and had a lot of fun with it. I've really let it go, and I need to get back on it because it was going well, but I feel like I just haven't had time or space to, feel the creativity to make much at the moment. And it's such a thing where you have to generate content like every day if you want to progress on it.
Right.
So I hope to get back to it, but that's cool. That's nice to sort of see. It's nice that I did that,
Yeah.
I'm glad that I actually did it.
You did do that. So, and you're still only 6 months into that process. So you're still relatively new to it. So you keep going or whatever. Is it
Thanks,
still exciting?
Matt. That was really inspirational.
Sorry. Yeah, whatever. You can just do it or not. I don't know. I don't care. Whatever. This is going along with listen, I gave you some positive reinforcement in the intro. It blew up in my face. Now I'm just trying to stay very neutral about everything that you do. And
I like it when you're positive. I think it's really sweet.
I try. It doesn't come naturally, but it's something I work at. So.
Oh, that's beautiful that you're working on that, and I really encourage you to keep on working on being positive and encouraging.
Yeah.
So,
but
there you go.
I mean, do you still? I mean, I know you don't. Maybe you're not feeling super creative. You're doing a lot of work around the house, getting your house ready, and you've got a lot of changes coming up. But like, is it something that you still enjoy doing?
When I have a thought that I think is funny and I film it, I do really enjoy it. But I did stand up for the first time on Thursday.
Oh yeah, what'd you do?
In front of a real audience in Banbury, and it was awesome. It was so fun. I felt kind of anxious. I wasn't going to do it. And then I made this decision to just completely improvise, like for 7 minutes, not plan anything, not write anything, and just talk and see what happens. And it was good. Like people laughed. Like people, obviously, it wasn't tight in any way. Like it was one of those things where, like, well, you couldn't do this. You can actually get away with this as like a show. I don't think it's one of those things where you have to hone stuff. But it was just I felt so happy seeing everyone again. Like I was like, God, this is the first time I've been out, and seen people out at like a venue for 6 months or whatever, and it was amazing. It was so beautiful, and I felt really encouraged by that. So I do feel like, even though I have comedy ebbs and flows for me where I feel up and down about it, but I do think it's going to be something I'll always come back to, even if I have breaks away. Anyway, how about you? How's the last week been for you?
Been okay. Haven't had a lot to report. It's been we went to baby class again. That was fun. But I don't know. Yesterday, Alice went to meet some friends at a pub, and I stayed here because I had some podcasting stuff to do, and then I had like time to myself in the house, and that was great. And I watched an old movie.
Did you?
Yeah.
Wow.
I watched The Awful Truth, which is a great old Cary Grant movie. And I will report that in my goal for the last 6 months from the intro was I had watched the movie Willow, which I don't know if you've seen Willow in the last 6 months.
No.
But I have not. I've only watched it the one time. I haven't watched it again. I keep meaning to watch it again. It's they're going to make a TV series out of it. So.
Oh, cool.
Man, I don't know. On Disney Plus, the Disney Plus guys, they just do whatever. But I don't know. You don't have to you don't remember this at all.
I really don't. It's amazing. What? So was there anything else that you said 6 months ago that sort of surprised you, or that's happened?
No, I mean the other big news in the intro was that I got some new red shoes, and those are still going strong. It seems like I've had them forever, not just 6 months, but I wear them all the time. They're my most comfortable shoes. So.
Well, that's beautiful.
Yeah, not a lot to report. It's been a lot of like I don't know, a lot of baby stuff this week. But tomorrow's Alice's birthday. It's exciting.
Is it? Have you got anything exciting planned?
No. Well, we're gonna go to brunch.
Ooh, lovely.
I was gonna make her because tomorrow everything opens up, right?
Yes.
And so we can go to brunch. So we're gonna try and go to brunch for her birthday, and so we're gonna try and do that. But
is it still legal to hug people tomorrow?
I don't know that. I guess it's legal to hug people. I don't know. They could really make that illegal, but
it's definitely been illegal to hug people because it's been a legal requirement that we've had to socially distance for like a year and 2 months. But I'm mostly excited about hugging people. Obviously not you because you're not a hugger, but but everyone else. Oh my God, I can't wait. Sorry, you were saying about Alice's birthday. So you're going to brunch.
Going to brunch. I don't know. Just, there's a dinner, like a dinner party planned at a friend's house. So we're going to do that. And I have some presents for her. Nothing exciting. Oh, for Mother's Day. So Mother's Day was last week. And so American Mother's Day was like last week. And I ordered something for her for Mother's Day that finally came in on the Monday following. So I gave her that. But I gave her one of those hiking baby carriers.
Oh, cool.
So we can go hiking with Tavish and probably me can carry him on the hiking thing. So, but yeah, I got her one of those, which was very fancy. Nice.
They're awesome. We had them and used to backpack with the boys everywhere, like take them for hikes in the woods. And yeah, they're really handy to have those.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fab. Well, I hope Alice has a beautiful birthday.
I hope so too. She deserves it, I guess. Thanks everybody for listening. I don't know.
I felt like you were going somewhere with that, I guess. Were you not going anywhere?
I have nowhere to go. I don't know. Yeah, sorry.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm just tired.
Hey, it's okay to be not okay when you've got tiny baby. Like, it's really, really hard. So don't feel bad or whatever if you don't feel okay.
No, I'm fine. Yeah, so that's fine. I think, and it's hard to forget that it's only been 3 months because it feels like it's been forever. But it is still like an adjustment thing. So I'm not. I just need to keep perspective. But anyways, thanks everybody for listening.
Thanks for listening, guys. Hang in there.
Yeah, please rate, review, subscribe. Rating and reviewing really helps people find the podcast, and it really helps us out. And tell a friend. Go and you know what's great is get one of those prison pen pals and let them know, because it's just like it's going to be such a great way for them to eat up hours and hours of their sentence. Is just to listen to this podcast. And I mean, maybe having a podcast that really focuses on the passage of time is maybe not the best thing to turn a prisoner on to, but maybe they'll like it. I don't know.
Do they have access to the internet?
What?
Do prisoners have access to the internet?
Yeah, I think they can like download podcasts and things.
Can they? Oh, that's nice.
That's nice, yeah. If you're a prisoner listening to our podcast, write in. Let us know at 6monthlaterpod@gmail.com. If you want to follow us online, we're at 6monthlaterpod on all the things. And if you want to follow Tara, she is
Tara NW Comedy on TikTok and Instagram. I'm not a massive fan of Twitter. I just don't really do it. I don't get it, but I'm on there. So, you can follow me on there, and Facebook. So all the stuff. What about you, Matt?
I'm M. Shadorn on Twitter, which I also don't really get, and Instagram. And if you follow me there, you can sometimes see pictures of my baby. But apart from social media, I make some other media, and including I have a podcast called Saint Misbehavin', and we just released an episode on Saint Brendan, the Voyager, the Navigator, the Bold, a guy who took a boat made out of butter and he sailed it around the world with so many monk. And it's a great fun episode that my friend Anna tells me all about the life of St. Brendan. So there you go. But yeah, take care everybody, and we'll see you next week.
In 6 months. Take it easy.
Bye. I don't know. That was the most boring thing I think I've ever said. All right. So that's not making it to the podcast. I hope you guys enjoyed hearing it live.